Hi all, good afternoon. So welcome to my class. So now we're already in chapter 5, I guess. Okay, yeah, chapter 5, International Trade Theory. So I hate theory, so you need to learn no matter what. Alright? Okay, first you must know why is free trade beneficial. So before that, you must know what is actually free trade. Okay, free trade is actually the international trade that left to its natural course without tariff, quotas, and also and other restrictions. So free trade is actually the trade that no need to pay quotas or no need to pay tariff or all the restriction. So it's actually that is a free trade. So free trade is a situation where a government does not attempt to influence through quotas or duties what its citizen can buy from the other country or what they can produce and sell to other country. Okay, their import and export process, they don't have any tax to pay. So that is a trade theory. Normally free trade, you must have the agreement. Okay, agreement between both countries. All right. So trade theory shows why it is beneficial for a country to engage in international trade even for the products it is able to produce for itself. So in the international trades, they allow the country to specialize in the manufacture and export the product that it can produce efficiently, or they want to import the product that can produce more efficiently to in other country. As I told you, free trade is actually the process of import export, where you can do import and export freely, trade between that country without any tax, quotas, duties, and also any restriction. So in order for you to do this free trade, you must have the agreement between both countries. So normally this free trade, it is good for you because you can just sell and you can use any product from other country without any tax. So you can just use normal price. Okay, why do certain pattern of trade exist? So some patterns of trade are fairly easy to explain. So it is obvious why Saudi Arabia normally they're going to export oil. Okay, Ghana they export cocoa, and also Brazil they export coffee. Oh, I don't know about that. Okay, Saudi they export oil. I know Saudi is very rich with oil. Ghana they export cocoa, and also Brazil they export coffee. But why does Switzerland export chemical, pharmaceuticals, watches, and jewelry? Okay, and why does Japan export automobiles, consumer electronics, and also machine tools? And why these certain patterns of trade exist? Okay, what roles does government have in the trade? So they have few theory here. Okay, we have the mercantilist philosophy. Okay, the mercantilist philosophy makes a crude case for government involvement in promoting export and also limiting export. So in the mercantilist, they ask the government to involve in promoting the export, and they're going to limit the import. Okay, export tu maksudnya barang yang dah sampai daripada luar ke dalam, and they're going to limit their import. Sorry, export tu barang dalam ke luar, import tu barang masuk. Okay, and they have a Smith, Ricardo, and also Hexus Oflin. Okay, these three people, okay, they promote unrestricted trade, and also they have new trade theory of Porter theory of national competitive advantage. Okay, I'm not going to touch all this theory. I'm going to touch only few theories. Okay, we have mercantilism. Okay, mercantilism is actually the belief. Okay, mercantilism is actually a belief in the benefit of profitable trading. Belief in the benefits of profitable trading. So in mercantilism, they suggest that it is in the country's best interest to maintain the trade surplus. Okay, it means to export more than import. Normally they're going to ask the government intervention to achieve the surplus in the balance of trade. Involved of the government must important. Okay, this mercantilism views as a zero sum game in which a gain by one country result in a loss by another. I'm so sorry, I don't like theory, so this is what you need to know. Mercantilism is actually belief in the benefit of profitable trading. By using in order for you to believe the benefit of profitable trading, you must involve the government. So normally government, they're going to do export more than import, so they're going to limit the import, limiting import. Another words for mercantilism is a zero sum game, which means that gain by one country result in loss of a country, because you going to export banyak, import tu dia limit. Maksudnya seorang je akan menang. The import one is going to win, but not the the export one going to win, not the import one. Okay, then we have Smith theory of absolute advantage. So before that, you must know what is absolute advantage. So absolute advantage is the ability of an individuals or groups to carry out a particular economic activities more efficiently than other individuals or group. I repeat, the ability of an individual or group to carry out a particular economic activity more efficiently than another individuals or group. So if you have this ability to carry the particular economic activity efficiently compared to your competitors, okay, you have what we call as a absolute advantage. So in this Adam Smith, they argue that a country that has absolute advantage in the production of the product, where it is more efficient than any country in producing it, they said countries should specialize in the production of the goods which they have an absolute advantage, and then trade this good for the goods produced by other country. Okay, something like this argue. They said that the countries, if for example the countries that have cocoa, okay, so they said you must trade this good to the other country. Okay, you must trade this good produced by other country. Dia macam trading. Okay, sorry. I mean like, okay, for example, contohnya kalau in Ghana just now have cocoa and Saudi Arabia have oil, so this absolute advantage, they must trade. Okay, you bagi I cocoa and I bagi you oil. This is what absolute advantage according to Smith lah. Means contohnya kalau you specialize in that production of good, okay, then you must trade the goods produced by other countries. Okay, it's like this. For example, they have cocoa. Sorry misunderstanding. Okay, macam kat Ghana ada cocoa, contoh kat Malaysia pun ada cocoa. So Ghana ni is the main country that have cocoa. So what Ghana need to do, they need to trade other good that ada cocoa, okay, on behalf of other country, that small country that don't have cocoa. So Ghana is the main one who going to produce cocoa, but they need to like trade that cocoa from other country too, not only from them. Okay, this is the example. Assume that two countries, Ghana and South Korea, both have 200 unit resource that could either be good rice and also cocoa. If Ghana take 10 units of resource to produce 1 ton of cocoa, 20 unit of resource to produce 1 ton of rice. So Ghana should produce 20 tons of cocoa and no rice, but 10 tons of rice and no cocoa, or some combination of rice and cocoa between two extremes. So in South Korea, it takes 40 units of resource to produce 1 ton of cocoa and 10 resources to produce 1 ton of rice. So South Korea should produce 5 tons of cocoa and no rice. Okay, 20 tons of rice and no cocoa, or some combination in between. So this is absolute advantage, mean give and take. Okay, they still need to produce the cocoa, but they need to increase the amount of their like South Korea, right? You can see here, okay, in Ghana they give 20 tons of cocoa, but in Korea just 5 tons of cocoa, because Korea is not main producer of cocoa, and there's no rice. Okay, 5 tons of cocoa, there is no rice. 20 tons of cocoa and no rice, and they must trade between them. Okay, 10 tons of rice and no cocoa, 20 tons of rice, no cocoa. Okay, or some combination in between. So this is how absolute advantage work. It's like benefit to each other. I also don't know how to explain. This is the example. Try to understand. Okay, sorry. Okay, so without trade, if they don't have trade, Ghana would produce 10 tons of cocoa and 5 tons of rice, but South Korea would produce 10 tons of rice and 2.5 tons of cocoa. So if they have the specialization and trade, Ghana should produce 20 tons of cocoa, South Korea should produce 20 tons of rice. So Ghana could trade 6 tons of cocoa to South Korea and 6 tons of rice. Okay, with the specialization and trade. If you have trade, means you can going to benefit to country. If you don't trade, you just produce only this amount lah. But you can see if they have trade, you can increase your what we call your resources. Okay, then after trade, Ghana would have 14 tons of cocoa left and 6 tons of rice, but South Korea we're going to have 14 tons of rice left and 6 tons of cocoa. Means they still give and take. You can see they will receive same amount, but because Ghana they don't not banyak rice, so they're going to share. Okay, the trade among them. So if the country specialize in the production of the good in which it has an absolute advantage and trade to other, both countries will gain. You can see if you do this specialize during the absolute advantage, both countries will gain something. Okay, instead of you just without trade, right? Just 10 tons of cocoa, 6 tons of 5 tons of rice. But if after trading, okay, Ghana will receive 14 tons of cocoa. They're going to have 20 tons of cocoa and 6 tons of rice. Okay, now we go to the comparative advantage. What is the Ricardo theory of comparative advantage? Okay, Ricardo tadi siapa nama dia? Absolute advantage by Smith. Now Ricardo theory of comparative advantage. Okay, what is actually comparative advantage meaning? Okay, comparative advantage means that the ability of an individuals or group to carry out a particular economic activity, such as making a specific product more efficiently than another activity. It's actually the ability of individuals or groups, the ability of the country to carry out a particular economic activity much or more efficiently than another activity. I repeat again, the ability of a country to carry out a particular economic activity more efficiently than another activity. So David Ricardo asks, what might happen when one country have absolute advantage in the production of all? Okay, according to Ricardo theory, the comparative advantage, they suggest that the countries should specialize in the production of those goods they produce most efficiently and buy goods that they produce less efficiently from other countries, even if this means buying goods from other countries that they could produce more efficiently at home. Okay, this is how they work. As assume that Ghana is more efficient in the production of both cocoa and rice. If Ghana, it takes 10 resources to produce 1 ton of cocoa and 13 means 1 per 3, 1 per 3 in English, I don't know lah, resources to produce 1 ton of rice. So Ghana could produce 20 tons of cocoa and no rice, 15 tons of rice and no cocoa, and some combination of 2. And in South Korea, it takes 40 resources to produce 1 ton of cocoa and 20 resources to produce 1 ton of rice. So South Korea could produce 5 tons of cocoa and no rice, and tons of rice and no cocoa, or some combination in between. Okay, if you have this trade, Ghana could export 4 tons of cocoa to South Korea in exchange for 4 tons of rice, means sama banyak. Okay, Ghana will still have 11 tons of cocoa and 4 additional tons of rice, and South Korea still have 6 tons of rice and 4 tons of cocoa. If which country specialize in the production of the goods in which they have comparative advantage and trades for the other, both country gain. So comparative advantage theory provides a strong rationale for encouraging free trade. Okay, now I'm going to tell you the code. I will put code in the between of the video now. Okay, the code of the quiz today is trade theory 05 IB. Okay, this is the code for today. Trade theory 05 IB without space. There's no space, Trade theory 05 IB. So let's pause it to the next slide. Okay, next one is unrestricted free trade always beneficial? Or the other words, do you think that if you unrestricted means is it unrestricted free trade is benefit or not? So actually unrestricted free trade is actually beneficial, but the gains may not they are beneficial, but the gains may not be great as a simple model of comparative advantage. So they have few models here. We have immobile resources, diminishing returns, dynamic efforts, and economic growth. So opening a country to trade could be, if you opening the country to trade, would be a country's stock of resources is as increased supplies become available from abroad. So you have the resources coming from abroad. So and then the efficient of the resources utilization, and so free up resources for other users. You're going to use the resources efficiency, and also it's good for your economic growth of the country. Okay, next question is, they ask, could a rich country be worse off with the free trade? Could a rich country be worse off with the free trade? According to Paul Samuelson, the dynamic gains from the trade may not always be beneficial. So free trade might ultimately result in lower wages in the rich country, because free trade now means that everyone can trade everything in your country. But if the country is rich, if you have this free trade, your wages might be low. So the ability to offshore service jobs that were traditionally not internationally mobile may have the effect of a mass inward migration to the United States, where wages then could be fall. It's going to affect the wages of the employees. But protectionist measure could create a more harmful situation for free trade. That's why some country they don't allow free trade, because if you know that tariff, that quotas, that tax is actually your economic. So you cannot sell everything. I think I teach you before in the introduction to business, because they cannot open everything to sell, import, export everything without any restriction, because some country, certain things that you cannot enter Malaysia, they need to put restriction. As you say that, for example, the drink arak dekat Malaysia, the price is quite high because they put tax in that arak. And that, what is arak in English? Alcohol drink. So there's alcohol drink. If they bring it to Malaysia, the price must be higher, because you need to go through to custom and also over, and need to pay tax or whatever. And they even have sticker. Am I right? They have sticker. So if they just open it, and people can get it easily, and they can sell like normal everywhere. You can get with the cheap price. So it's not good actually free trade. Some of the country they think that's why they will do this restriction, they will do this quota, they will do this tariff. And some of the goods also they will just limit the import. They limit the import of that product, certain product, especially the luxury car and so on. Okay, next we have, I just want to just knowledge for you guys, all right? Uh, what is the Heckscher Ohling theories? So Ellie, Heckscher, and Bertil Ohling cooperative entities arise that from different of the national factor endowment, the extent to which country is endowed with the resources like land, labor, and capital. Okay, the main resources. So they predict that countries will export goods that make intensive use of those factors that are locally abundant, and import goods that make intensive use of factors that are locally scarce. I don't understand. Okay, we skip. Sorry. Then we have, does the Wassily Leontief theorized that since the US was relatively abundant, the capital compared to other nations, the US could be the exporter of a capital-intensive goods and importer of labor intensive. I know you guys are sleepy. I just want to make this video long. That's all. Okay. But this one I won't ask lah in quiz. Don't worry. However, he found that US export were less capital intensive than US. Since the result was at variance with the prediction of the trade theory, it became known as a Leontief paradox. This one is important. Okay, product life cycle. I'm not going to explain because I already teach you guys. So please make your own notes regarding the product life cycle. So, product life cycle theory, Raymond Rennen, they said that as product matured, both the location of sales and also the optimal of production location will change, affecting the flow of the direction of trade. So it's include the size of the wealth of US market. This is notes from US, so everything in US. So initially the products would be produced and sold in US. Okay, so what you need to do now, you need to create, remember I teach you the product life cycle, all the curve. Okay, you must do the notes regarding the introduction, growth, maturity, and also decline. So do the notes and relate with the trade. Okay, try to find the notes and relate with the introduction. Try to find the notes regarding product life cycle in the trading system. Okay. In business lah, actually, in the business, in international business, product life cycle in international business. Okay. This is the example the product life cycle theory. Does the product life cycle theory hold? The product life cycle theory accurately explains what happened for products like photocopier and the number of higher technology products developed in the United States in the 1960s and 1970s. But the globalization and integration of the world economy has made this theory less valid today. So before, because this product life cycle, you can see now. Before, you can see how the product, like they have introduction, they have growth, maturity, and also decline, right? But according to this, they said now this theory like less valid. Okay, and they said the theory is introcentric, ethnocentric. Production today is dispersed globally. Production today introduce multiple markets simultaneously. Okay. Okay, just do your own notes regarding product life cycle. Put in your notes. Maybe I come out in final exam, because I'm not going to give notes. Just recap what you learned before, because I teach you. I think for marketing management also have, marketing also have, in introduction to business also have about product life cycle. So please do your notes. Clear? Okay, then we have a new trade theory. New trade theory suggests the ability to firm to gain economic scale. Okay, through this impact the economic scale, trades can increase the variety of goods available to the customers and decrease the average cost of those goods. So without trade, nations might be able to produce those products where economic of scale important. With trade, markets are large enough to support the production necessary. So trade is mutual beneficial because it allows for the specialization. Okay, this one no need. So in those industry, when output required to attain economies of scale represents a significant. Okay, okay, this one also no need. I just want to focus the one that important, but I don't want to make it like too short. What are the implications of new trade theory for nation? Nation may benefit from trade even when they do not differ in resource endowment or technology. So a country may dominate in the export of a good simply because it was lucky enough to have one or more firms among the first to produce that goods. So government should consider strategic trade policy that nurture the protect firms nurture and protect firms and industry where first mover advantage and economy of scale are important. Okay, that's why when you present, you cannot put a lot of things in the slide, so you tend to read everything. Okay, all right, this one we have also important. Okay, we have Porter diamond of competitive advantage. Okay, Michael Porter, Michael Porter, they try to explain why nation achieve the international success in a particular industry, and then they theorizes, and he identify 4 attributes that promote or impede the creation of a competition advantage. So according to Michael Porter, they have 4 attributes or characteristic. We have a factor endowments, we have a demands condition, relating and support industry, and also firm strategy, structure and rivalry. Okay, so we go one by one. For factor endowments, okay, just memorize this, right? Okay, they have factor endowments, a nation's position in the factor production necessary to compete in a given industry. Okay, they can lead to competitive advantage and can be either basic, natural resources, climate, advanced skill. I'm sorry, because this is the theory. No matter what, you need to memorize this. Demand condition, the nature of home demand for the industry's product and services. They are going to influence the development of capabilities, sophisticated and demanding customer pressure firms to be competitive. I'm sorry, I'm not really productive this week because I don't like theory. I'm so sorry to you guys. Okay, then we have relating and supporting industry, the presence or absence of supplier industry and related industry that are internationally competitive, and also firm strategy, structure, and also rivalry. This one continue. Okay, they can split over. Okay, you can just write these notes. Okay, the condition governing how companies are created, organized, managed, and nurture of the domestic rivalry. Is this the sake of learning only for your information? Just want to follow the syllabus. I don't think I will ask this question in the final exam. Maybe that product life cycle, maybe because of the I know I can't ask something that I hate, but in quiz I will ask. Okay, I cannot ask if I don't like theory, I ask you theory, so it's not fair for you also. So don't worry, final exam not come out. It's the purpose of quiz only, and quiz is a open book. Okay, firm strategy, different management ideology affect the development of national competitive advantage. Wages of domestic rivalry creates the pressure to innovate, and so on. Okay, just read and also pause this video and write the notes to answer the quiz after this. Okay, this why we call it diamonds, but you can see the shape is like diamond. So this diamond, they have 4. Okay, demand condition, supporting related and supporting industry, power endowment, also firm strategy, structure, and rivalry. Okay, Does Porter's theories hold? Okay, government policy can affect demand through the product standard, influence rivalry through regulation and also antitrust law, impact the availability of highly educated workers. The four attribution government policy and chance to work as a reinforcing system, complementing each other, and in the combination creating the condition appropriate. So far, Porter's theory has not been sufficiently tested to know how well it is hold up. Maksudnya dia berkesan affected or not. So what are the implications of Tate theory for managers? Okay, we have the location implication, first move implication, also policy implication. For the managers, location implication, a firm should disperse its various production activities to those countries where they can perform most efficiently. So if you want to open your business, so you must find the country that can perform good. Okay, firms that do not may be at the competitive disadvantage. Okay, so if you can find some place that the location that good and you can perform and you can get profit banyak, then you can just they can you actually create the competitive advantage. If not, you are creating the competitive disadvantage. Then we have first mover implication. A first mover advantage can help a firm dominate global trade in that product. If you are the one who going become a first mover, so you are the one who dominant. You're not going to be monopoly, but you mean you are the one that become a hit because you are the first mover. You are the one who going to introduce that product. Okay, then we have the policy implication. So policy implication is firms should work to encourage governmental policy that support free trade. Actually, free trade is come from the government policy. Government is the one who give you chance to do this free trade. So if you want to work, if you want to join this free trade, so you should encourage. Okay, you should encourage the government policy that support free trade. Okay, because if you want to do a free trade, so you must find a country that do this free trade. Okay, firms should lobby the government to adopt policy that have a favorable impact on each component of the diamond. See, lobby means you need to give money. I don't know whether it's like in Malaysia you cannot do. Maybe in US it's normal. I don't know. Okay. Then we have balance of payment. A country balance of payment account keep track of the payment to and receipts from the other country for the particular time period. So balance of payment accounting uses double entry bookkeeping. Okay, never mind. Okay, they have three main account in the balance of payment. We have current account, record the transaction that pertain to goods, services and income, receipt and payment. So they have two, deficit also surplus. A deficit, a country imports more than the imports. Itu deficit. But at surplus, the country export more than import. Import more than export adalah deficit. Okay, you bring something, I mean the goods outside to inside more than you bring out you sell your product outside, is actually deficit. Surplus, if you export more than imports, that's surplus. Okay, then we have capital account. Capital account, you records anytime changes in the stock of asset. Anytime you have stock changes any stock, you record. Okay, then we have financial account, records transaction that involve the purchase of sale and asset. Okay, dia macam account ni kan, all about account. I think you know lah, because all of you already finish account. So I don't know what is this. Okay, this is the balance of payment. Okay, deficit just now. Import more than export. Is it? Yeah. Import more than export is deficit. Is it a current account deficit? Doesn't matter. A current account deficit implies a net debtor. So the persistent deficit could limit future economic growth because the import is more than export. So for now, yeah, it's good, but future is going to have problem with job growth. But even though capital is flowing out of the United States, capital of the United States, because it's in United States, as payment to foreigners, much it flows back to the investors in asset. Yet, suppose foreigners stop buying US asset and sell their dollars for another currency. So dollar crisis could occur for them. This is a few review question. All the following theories advocate free trade except which answer? Okay lah. Alright. Only 35 minutes. Sorry because I made you guys bored and feel sleepy. So I already give you the codes in the middle of the video. So good luck and see you next week. Bye bye.